Hi guys, welcome back to part 2. Enjoy the episode.
Okay, should we go on to the next question? This was another poll, actually, and I'm not going to let Caitlin look at it this time because she's a hater.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Well,
if you watched it,
okay, I knew you were going to say that.
Okay, so the poll is, how would you approach moving away? Keep it spontaneous, keep myself super busy with a full schedule, or no plans at all, give myself time to settle in completely.
Spontaneous first.
Do you agree?
Yeah, spontaneous. It's nice to have a few things planned just so you've got like things to look forward to. But I kept it spontaneous. I didn't have anything planned.
Well, that's what you voted for.
I don't know. Did I vote?
I'm not sure.
But like, no, me in real life.
No, but like the poll result.
Oh.
Our first guess is going well. We just upset her.
I'll just tell you guys. Okay, keep it spontaneous did win with 55%.
Okay.
And then it was, which to my surprise was
keep it really busy.
No plans. Give myself time to settle in completely.
Oh.
32%. Only 15% of. I mean, I lied. 13% of people said keep myself super busy, full schedule.
Because I would do, like in my head, I'd just be like, yeah, keep it really busy. Like, then I haven't got time to think about what's going on. I just.
That's what you're doing. You moved on the Sunday, you worked on the Monday.
Yeah. And then by the time you have like a moment to catch your breath, it's like, oh, I've so settled in because I've done this and this. And
You've so done it. Because moved on the Sunday, work on the Monday, work a 5-day week. We spent Saturday night together. You slept at ours and you've just come back on Sunday evening.
And I did go for drinks with my potential flatmates that I was looking for. And I did go to a house viewing. Yeah, but it doesn't feel like that, like, because that's what I'm gonna have to do every week is work 5 days.
Yeah.
So that's
things on the weekend.
Just start as you mean to go on.
Yeah.
So tell me, what was your kind of first day in London like? Did you, because obviously this is freshers, did you go out to explore campus straight away, or what did you do?
So long ago. Well, my parents were obviously on campus, but I don't think they were there for very long. And then I think I met up with people straight away, and then I went out and I did a night out, and
Party never ended. Am I right?
Yeah, crazy. Like, however many years down the line, I'm still on that night out.
She never came home.
Yeah, so I think I was really busy when I first moved.
I think it's a good way to go, but I think you can burn out.
I think I'm very prone to burning out if I'm too busy. So I think, in theory, I would be like, I need to be really busy, otherwise it will all catch up to me. But I think I would be the opposite personally, is that I would be so busy, and then the day off that I had, I would be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It would all just hit me then, but I'm aware that not everyone would be like that, and for some people it would really work. But I think knowing who I am in my adulthood, and I can probably look back, if I did like a deep dive of my first year in London, I probably did have a big dip when I stopped being busy and was like, I am in a little room in a city that I don't really know, and I don't have any deep friendships. So I don't think, now that I'm grown and I know myself, I don't think that would be the best way for me.
I think I fall somewhere in the middle, because I said that being super busy, like, you are just right into action and like you begin living the new life immediately. But it kind of depends how long you know within yourself, like what you were saying, like how long it takes you to simmer into an environment. Because I think I could, well, I don't know if I particularly get homesick, but I think if I was prone to that, which a lot of people are, especially when you are like 18 and maybe you've never even been on like a holiday without your parents, like a lot of people haven't, if you are prone to that but you're keeping yourself so busy, then it might hit like the month mark and you've not done anything yourself, you've not like had a few nights in to do nothing, and then suddenly you've just like pushed back the homesickness instead of dealing with it like in drips and drabs. Like you've just been like, oh my God, like what just happened? That whole month was a blur. I've been so busy, I've not even like stopped to like look back and think about things, and now I miss home.
Yeah, there's a lot to process when you first move somewhere. And I also think, we spoke about it earlier, but I think there's a lot of pressure to do everything all at once, and every day I need to do something new, and I need to go out and I need to see something, otherwise I'm wasting my time. But it's like what you were saying, like, you're going to be here for a long time, even if it's not permanent, or if it's a year course or whatever, it's still an extended period of time. And matter of fact is that no one does something new and fun every single day.
Yeah.
And I think if I was to go into something and say I need to do something every day and I need to really hit the ground running, I don't think I could keep it up, because
Can't afford
people
to
don't
keep
do
up
it.
either.
Yeah.
I felt like I was supposed to be taking loads of like fun B-reels, and everyone wanted to see where I was, and I was like, I'm just in my room. I think that's also a thing. You two were saying that I was really busy. Sorry. That's also a thing. You two were saying that I was really busy this week. But at the end of the day, like most nights anyway, not all of them, but I would come home after work and I would just be able to like
Chill
chill.
out.
So it
Have
didn't
your
feel,
space.
yeah, it didn't feel that crazy.
I think these days as well, it's the expectation to be so busy, but what you were just saying about B-reels and everything is
Yeah.
people are watching what you're doing now for the worst, that people will look into it and be like, well, I know she went to London for uni, so why is she not, like, she's not doing it
Yeah.
correctly, or like, why has she got no life, like, why did she bother moving there if she's not doing anything?
Yeah, what, she's in London, but she's just in her room, like her
Yeah.
B-reel's just in her
Yeah,
room
I
again.
feel so like, so we spoke about this in the Neve interview, is that we were like, we have you on B-reel and it makes you seem so real, because you do all these cool things and then you're just like normal, you're just at home, you're with your family. But it's harder to say that about yourself, I realised after we said that. And then I would do a B-reel and then I'd be like, we do this really cool thing with the podcast, and then all of my B-reels is a dissertation.
Yeah.
And it feels really,
because I never want to take my
introspective.
pictures in public. I'll be like, oh, I've just been out today and I went to this place and this place and this place and it was really pretty, and there was so many opportunities there where I could have gotten a good picture, but I don't want to get my camera out and take my B-reel, especially when I was on my own for some of that as well. Like, I don't want to take my B-reel on my own. So then I get back and yeah, you want to take it at like the most fun part of your day, but you don't think about it then because you're being real in that moment. You're not taking a picture, so
it's so difficult not wanting to live for social media, but because a lot of us do to an extent now, like we want to show what we're doing, so then
it just for like your parents and your family and stuff, like they want to see that what I'm doing. Like, yeah, we might have a call at the end of the day, but it means that they can keep up with me without having to have that call if they do see all of that stuff.
I think there's a whole nother discussion and episode on like social media culture, but I think again, in settling into the city, I realised that I wanted to use social media to document things, not show off things. And I think then that comes with not feeling like I have to do things all the time. I think I found that I would rather do one exciting thing a week and really be able to enjoy it than do loads of things.
Because if you are physically exhausted from doing all of these things, you'll stop enjoying it. Like,
We have that about things all the time.
I really enjoy a concert, but if I was going to 3 a week standing, it would get boring. And this is
We've done this before by accident.
this is like not against any festivals or anything, but by the end of a festival and just hearing the loud live music, it can get very just like same old, which doesn't, like, not necessarily, but it's like, oh, with the clubbing and everything as well, like, I guess if you are just like mix and matching, if you are keeping it spontaneous, like what we said on the poll, then it is different. But if you are just doing everything, at some point you're going to be like, God, am I even enjoying it anymore? Maybe. That would just be me.
I find that I feel the most comfortable and settled when I feel comfortable not doing anything. Like, even, so obviously I've not moved to a city in years, but even in like moving location or moving to a different academic level and things like that, the times that I felt the most settled was when I was just doing things, or when I just did something without thinking about it, even if it was like going to a class and doing the class and I didn't get stressed out about it. That's when I felt settled. It wasn't when I was going to the coolest bar or when I was having the most fun or when I was doing a cool event and things like that. It was when I did the small things and didn't get stressed out about it that then I felt comfortable, and that's why I then value not doing everything all at once.
Yeah, which is I think how I know that like I'm not content maybe in the flat that I've got right now or so on. So like I feel like I need to decorate that room more so that when I am just sitting on my own, I can just enjoy my room and my own space and everything that's around me. Like I don't think I've really got that at the moment. I also found that the first day that I was, so yesterday morning we had plans in the evening, but like in the morning I just wanted to go and walk around my little area because I knew there was amazing places near me. I just needed to get out. And I woke up at like 9 o'clock, and I just spent hours in the morning like really slowly getting ready because I was like, oh, like, am I gonna go yet? Like, am I gonna go?
Because you can just do whatever you want when you want.
And I didn't have a proper purpose. Like usually I'd be like, I need to go to this shop, so I'll do that, and then I've got an excuse to go out. Whereas I didn't have any of that. I literally just wanted to go and explore a little bit, and it took me so long to like get there. And I think I ended up leaving the house by like 12. But I was so glad I did it because I just had a little good like day on my own.
Doing things on your own time.
Yeah, and I need to get so used to that because I am gonna be so on my own, especially like until I do like move into that flat with my friend. But I literally just had to go because then once I did it, I really enjoyed it.
It seems like you do have a good balance though. Like you're not thinking I have to fit everything in, but you know you had like a plan for the day, but you like lounged getting to that point. And I've put,
because again everything's on my doorstep. It's not like I need to be out by this time because I literally just walk out my house and wander down the road, and that's where everything was anyway. So it's not like I even had a bus to catch and needed to be out by, you know, like I could literally just go out when I'm ready to go out.
I think my like closing statement for the poll is, I think as long as you look back at the choices you made and you are happy with them, you know, you could look back and think, I had a really slow start and I really needed that time to just get to grips. Like you could have come from the absolute middle of nowhere. You could have lived in a field in a tent, and then you've just moved to like Shoreditch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're happy with that slow start, or you're really happy that you went out every night, you were like, you know what, I hit the ground running.
Or you just learn from it. Like I was so busy in that first week, and now I realise that if I were to do that again, I think I would appreciate just being a little bit quieter. And now I know that if I move again, or if I was able to do that again, or maybe next week instead, I'm just gonna have a really quiet week because actually that was quite a lot, and now I need to adjust to it.
And you need to try things out to know what works for you. And if you're moving for the first time, if you're moving for the 1,000th time, you're still doing something new because it's a new place.
And it's not like you've done it wrong just because you went a little bit too hard, or you think you should have done more. You haven't done it wrong. It's just
because
adjusting.
Sometimes I look back at Freshers Week. I spent £1,000 in Freshers Week. I'm dropping that now.
You just said that.
I will say it because I worked for a year before uni. I worked very hard and very often. I took £6,000 of saving for first year. And I was very proud to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd really worked to a point where I'm like, I don't want to have to, like, what's the word? Like,
scrimp and
scrimp. Yeah. I was like, I want to do Freshers how I want to do it.
Yeah.
I spent £1,000, and I wasn't alone. The people in my flat also spent far too much.
How did you spend that much?
London.
Yeah, but like,
as in, because it would be like £30 minimum bar spend in a club. There's not that many rounds.
You went to like club.
Yeah, it wouldn't take that. Well, like Fabric,
that,
Ministry.
Yeah, but when I went to those in Freshers Week, I did it under like fresher passes.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't have a Freshers pass because I didn't think I'd end up going to anything.
So I
got
a
Freshers pass
and I did early.
They do say though that that's a bit of a scam in itself. Like you don't need to get those. I saw some TikToks about that recently. But like you don't need to get those. But I mean,
you had a pretty active Freshers.
So I was a Fatsoma rep. Which is actually, we were talking about pyramid schemes earlier, that kind of gave pyramid schemes, because everyone bought tickets off my links, but because I knew people and I had a very like clear group of friends, was that we decided what event we would go to, so I could get really early cheap tickets to things, and then people would buy tickets through my link, so then I would make money on my ticket. So I ended up earning like, it wasn't a lot, but I think I ended up earning like 100 or 2 just from people clicking on my link and buying their tickets through it.
And that's a couple nights out, like that's really good.
Yeah, so that's I think how I did Freshers cheap, was because I got early tickets, and
Because everyone buys the
Yeah.
wristbands, and then it's like, oh, but I'm not going to go to all of these events, or
and I need to make my money back because I've already bought a wristband,
Yeah.
so I need to go to
Yeah.
X amount of events to make it worth it.
This is
or
why
you
we
go
needed
the
to be
event and
friends.
it's
Yeah.
so busy because everybody's bought the same wristband as you, so the queue is so long and it takes so long to get in it.
Freshers is crazy. I want to do an
Yeah.
episode on freshers.
But bear in mind, this is the weirdest thing, and then I'll get to my point, is I did so much in freshers, but there was 3 of us, and I didn't meet a single person outside of my flat for so long. Like, I don't know why, because I do love to meet new people, but for some reason in
Yeah.
that first week, I was so content not meeting a single other person.
Probably because it was all just already so much that you can only
Just go with what you have.
you're already getting to know those people, like.
But we just chose to not. We were in the party flat
Yeah.
block, and we just chose
There
to
was
never.
parties on other floors as well, wasn't there, at your?
Yeah, but we
That's
just.
how we.
Yeah.
You were quite a party fresher.
Yeah.
I just didn't go to a flat party for like 2 months. It was crazy. But I did all that, and I look back and I think, oh, sometimes I went out a bit too much because I don't do that in day to day. But I don't regret it because I think I needed it.
But also, I think our nights out now are just so different. Like last night for me, that is a good night. Maybe
That
I
was like
could've-
a night out for me, and we didn't even go out like that. We went
But
for a
that's
meal
it,
and then like
a
3 or
bar
4
for me
drinks.
now and drinks. That's enough. Maybe
If you
I
can
could've
dance next to
done-
a table. That's my like.
Yeah.
I went
and
dancing.
I can go and sit down if I need a sec. Like
yeah.
maybe I could have done another hour or 2, but at that kind of a vibe, like a smaller place. You know, like we know what we like now. Whereas
Yeah.
when you go to a club,
Yeah, because I'm
you have-
casting back.
yeah, you have no choice but to just stand there and drink and dance and listen to it. Like it's
Yeah.
a intense night. Whereas I just think a bar you can make those nights what you want it to be, and you also don't pay to get in. So if you end up not liking the vibe, but if you end up not liking the vibe, you can just leave. Whereas when you pay for a club, it's like that's it. Now we're in this club and we're done.
But even with that, like, if you're moving to a new place and you're worried that you're just not going to enjoy the clubbing, but you still want to give it a go, you can leave if you want. Yeah, you paid for it, but like, never. This is my big point: is just like, don't force it. Just do what feels right in the moment. Even if that is like.
And I think that's
staying
why the
out.
spontaneous one's probably the best one to vote.
Oh,
because
yeah.
don't put pressure on doing things. Don't put pressure on not doing things. Things turn up, do it. If things don't turn up, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys like change, like, not say like what would you change about your freshers, but would you do it differently, or you like look back and think like that needed to be done at the time? Do you know what I mean?
I had a huge argument in our friendship group so our freshers was 3 weeks long, and there was a huge like explosion at the end of it. But I wouldn't change it because it's like you have a huge friend. Like, there was no way I was going to be in a huge friendship group. I've never had a huge friendship group throughout my whole life. There was no world in which I was going to thrive in that scenario.
And if you believe in the like butterfly effect, domino effect, as you wouldn't be here, where you are
Because I would
content.
probably be living with those people who I knew before uni, for all the group chats and things like that. So I think uni in general, but especially first year and freshers, it's very emotional and it's very draining. And I look back now and not every memory is happy, but I do think you could change it because I think that's the whole point. And you get a lot of your like heartache and friendship breakups just done out the way.
Yeah, I feel similarly where I look and think like maybe I should have branched out beyond 2 people that I lived with, especially knowing the circumstances of them. Maybe I should have, but with the domino effect is I wouldn't be here right now. Because if I'd have gone to a flat party on the first night for prees and met a whole group of people that weren't even connected to you, I needed to go to something later on as a last ditch effort to go out there and socialise, and then ... in a non-weird way. What about you?
Passing the mic over.
Quick, double it and pass it to the next one.
I think mine was quite like chilled, to be honest. Like I went out every night, I think apart from one. Got drunk every night, but again I went to uni with my friend, so we would start every night, the 2 of us. Yeah, we might meet people along the way, but we'd start and end the night just us 2.
Yeah,
pretty much all the time. And I was in like the second choice accommodation, so there was the really nice new accommodation, and then there was this one which had the really small, not sociable kitchens. It had like everyone was really separate, whereas the new one was just as a whole a more sociable place. But I had a good time, and I also think freshers happens every year. You can still
yeah.
like you can have
Yes.
we did it on our
Yeah.
4th year.
We're gonna do
you
it this
have
year.
to-
Not the entire thing, but we're
one freshers event.
But,
we're
like,
gonna go to
yeah,
the
young.
just because you're first one, obviously that's when you want to go the craziest because you want to meet the most people and you want to get into everything really quickly. But like you can literally have that week of going out every year. So
Yeah.
And
any
and
week
that
could be
second
freshers week
year-
if you go hard
Yeah,
enough.
we've done
and
it.
that second year you have the experience to know where you want to go and what time you want to go out. Like we used to start drinking so early, and then by the time it's time to go out, you'd be dead.
I think there's joys in like coming to terms of things that
Yeah.
you like and don't like when
Yeah.
you're younger, and I think
Knowing
you
your
just need
roots
to
a
lean
little
into
bit.
it and just be a bit messy and just know that everyone else is doing it.
Because the
We went
funniest
proper
stories
into
come from it.
uni.
Huh?
We went proper into like uni conversation.
Yeah,
I like
I
it.
can't even remember how the question.
The way this is, what's it from? How would you approach moving? Oh, it's not. It's not. No.
Because a lot of people will be moving to start uni.
Yeah, defo. Okay, the next one is the one that we've all been waiting for.
we've been stopping ourselves talking to each other about this.
I'm so excited. Okay,
I can't remember.
no one look at the poll, please, whilst the poll master does a bit.
I keep forgetting that it's not our opinions though. It's like so we
Yeah, so
we're
you need to guess what people are
guessing what people
voting
would say.
for.
Okay.
Okay, the scenario is you are moving city for a job, but your partner isn't supportive. What do you do? Number 1, I can't leave them, so I'll just cancel. Number 2, I'm going, partner won't stop me. Number 3, I'll consider their opinions. Who said what?
I'll consider their opinions most because I know that people vote for like the middle ground.
Yeah, I think you would want to hear out why they're saying that, because obviously if they're your other half, then their opinion means a lot to you.
So do you agree with this on the poll? Like, as in, you think most people said that as well?
Yeah, I would probably listen to their opinion. Yeah. Oh, I think people would say that the most. Yeah. You made that confusing.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm not getting a vote.
Okay, well, what was the second most popular poll opinion?
What was the first one you said?
I don't know which order I did it. Oh, I can't leave them.
Yeah.
I'll cancel. Or I'm going. A partner won't stop me.
I'm going second.
Yeah. Yeah, partner won't
That's
stop me.
true. So 64% of people said I'll consider their opinions. 29% of people said I'm going, a partner won't stop me. 7% of people said I can't leave them, I'll cancel.
I think that is crazy. I don't want to say anyone's opinion's wrong, but I cannot because people have different relationship styles. I mean, I'll admit me and Liz did accidentally talk about it a little bit. It could depend on age. I think if you're younger, you're more likely to be like,
or if your lives are already together and you're ready to move on to that next step in your relationship. But then if you are ready to move into that next step of your relationship, then you probably shouldn't be
because I'm thinking we're all very, very malleable right now in that, like, if something happens, and if things change. But if you're younger, everything feels more intense, and if you're older, the likelihood is that your relationship is then more intense.
And you would do that together already.
Yeah,
like, you wouldn't have even.
And if a partner was like, "I'm gonna move here," but you own the house, you'd be like, "What?" Like,
I didn't realise I have experience of this, but I do. But I'm just on the partner end of things. Is previous only relationship, so now it's very obvious, but like with the relationship I was in, at one point he was applying for jobs and it was very much like where the job is offered to me I will go, but he said to me I don't want to go above the Midlands because that's too far considering me. But I was like, no, like you take where the job takes you, everything else is an afterthought really, because life is too short. We are so young, at 22. You go where you want for the job, even if it takes you abroad. Like, you can deal with how strong your relationship is after, to me.
Yeah, I started looking for jobs and stuff whilst I was still in my past relationship, and what I felt like I was getting really mixed signals, because I was in that place of like, I'm not gonna think about how it's gonna affect us, but we had conversations of like, oh yeah, I think I would maybe move there too, and it depended where we were at the time. But one minute I would get like, oh yeah, maybe I could look for jobs there too and we could do this together. And the next minute it would be like, well, no, we would make it work, and then the next minute it'd be like, well, we'd break up. And I felt like I kept getting those really mixed signals.
Yeah.
I was just doing, I was in that place where I was just going where the job was. So if something came up in this place, I would just do it.
So we'd have been perfect together.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
Dream team.
Yeah, I just wasn't, I don't think the relationship had been that, but I also thought that the relationship was strong enough that like that it would be for the both of us, maybe.
What, the both of you
because
move,
their
or
job,
the both
either, because they'd
together?
mentioned before like they could do their job anywhere, so I don't know, I don't think they had this big career that had built up that they wouldn't have been able to leave.
I had someone at work who had worked at my workplace for ever, like part of the furniture, and her husband got a job in America, and she left and she went to, do you remember this? And
I
she
forgot about
went
that.
to America. She didn't have anything lined up, but she was like, financially we can do it, I'm going to figure it out when I get there. But the job offer was too good to say
miss.
no, and it's also too good of an opportunity. I think they were moving to like New York, and it was like, I can't turn that down. I love my job here, but when the opportunity's there and the person you love wants to do that, how can you say no?
You should really have had all of these conversations before you even apply to the job. Like, you should already know what you're gonna do.
But then some people will apply being like, I'm never gonna get that, and then they do, and they're like, wait.
It was on a whim. You weren't planning on coming to London.
Yeah, not necessarily. I was literally just going to go wherever the job was, and then it just worked out, and the timing was great.
Well, I think for me, on the like the partner end, not the job offeree, is that I couldn't possibly live with myself if they had this opportunity in another city or another country for this growth, this like career growth or change or whatever it is, even if it was entry level and they were like, it's, well, actually, it kind of would be a different conversation if it was a career job or just like a make ends meet kind of job, because that would be a bit like, why moving city? But I couldn't possibly live with myself knowing that you might turn it down and cancel it just so we can be like in the same vicinity when we've not even attempted to see if it would make a difference. It might make no difference.
This could make us stronger, but also if we break up over this, then maybe we weren't meant to be together anyway, or maybe this isn't our time and we can come back together later on.
Because it's like, if you move, well, we've kind of discussed about like London being big in itself. That can, we said it with Phoebe was saying that you can move to a different part of London and it basically be like another city. I think she said that, right? Was that her?
Probably.
Someone.
I thought you meant Phoebe, and I was like, Phoebe lives with us. Phoebe has always lived close to us.
No, someone said it, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But okay, so if they move like 2 hours away and we've not even tried, like you've gone there, or like you're planning to go there, like, I've not even come for a weekend, we've not done like anything. How are you just gonna, do you know what I mean? You have to give it a go.
Clearly you weren't that invested. I
think that's what I was going to do. It was just going to be like,
trial it out, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I got really off topic in my head then, and I was thinking about Don't Worry Darling, and it's like prioritising like your job versus their job and things like that, but that's not topical. But I'm aware that I was just giggling and not explaining it. So.
Yeah, I looked in your eyes, I was like, hello.
Because that was somebody we know, you know, the one that I told you about.
I'm not, yeah? Well, just go on with your point.
Their job was a more of a career job, and they were making X amount of money which was really good. But that other they hadn't even thought about the other person in it all. I just think if you're gonna do any of that, you at least have to be like, well, can they get a job in that place too?
It has to be communicated.
Yeah,
but also if your heart and brain is telling you, I want to do this job, it's here. And even if it's non-instinctual, you're not thinking about that person, maybe that's a sign. Is that if you're not automatically thinking about that person, maybe it's not meant to be, and maybe you do it and you say, I don't think you should try and move with me. And if it's meant to be, maybe you'll end up in the same place at another time, and I do believe that would happen. But
I also think that we also put so much on our careers now. Like we put so much in these jobs and like onto these jobs. Obviously for me this was just also just to get to London. It was just the next step, so I've not put loads on this role exactly, but like we put so much on our careers, but actually that person that we're talking about is the one that's going to last, hopefully,
maybe
for the rest of our lives, not the job. So but obviously that's also some, like, will it make you stronger, or will it make you realise that they're not the one?
Because moving city with someone is a big deal.
Especially if you've not already got friends there as well, because it's just the two of you.
Moving one person, like yourself, to a new place is one thing, but
moving as friends is another thing,
Yeah.
and then moving as a couple,
the intensity just goes like X game mode. Like it's just
because
crazy.
the idea is you live together, you
already.
share a room, you would share friends most likely.
Same timetable, because like all you know is each other for that first like cycle of time.
Yeah. Whereas at least if you moved with a friend, you would have separate rooms and separate jobs, and it's more natural to have separate friends. But yeah, but also you're also looking at 3 girls who aren't in long-term relationships.
Because I didn't even consider saying move with me. That wasn't in my mind at all, to be quite honest with you. I vote.
You know what, we had that conversation, me and
Previous partner.
Yeah, we had the conversation of like, would we move? And I remember him saying like, yeah, after 6 months maybe I would. When it was when we were talking about Manchester, it was I'll move, and then maybe after about 6 months or something, they would come and join me.
You stayed strong enough.
Right.
Like to see if I really liked living there, to see if I was settled there, to see if the job that I'd moved for was worth it.
I see that.
Yeah.
See the merits. Well,
but imagine that was the conversation. Yeah, but that was the conversation, and then it changed to
no.
Yeah, all sorts.
I think it's weird. Personally, I don't understand relationships with an end date. I personally can do it. You know, when people are like, yeah, we're together, but I'm going to move away at the end of my degree. I know that I'm going to move to another country because that's where my job will be.
But then you
that's
do
a whole other
get,
topic in itself, isn't it? We could
you
talk about
get
that for ages.
stuff out of that relationship, even if you know it's not forever.
Yeah.
Like, or you just enjoy spending time. Like, I've definitely known that I'm not going to be with a certain person for the rest of my life, but I just enjoy that
having
time
life
there and then. Yeah, and it's not like I know that it's going to end at a certain time, or I want it to end at a certain time, but like I just know that it's probably not the one, but I'm enjoying myself, so I'm just gonna like see it out for now.
I think
Doesn't make it easier.
Yeah,
does it?
where I stand on this whole argument is I did vote for I'm going, like it doesn't matter, but I don't mean it as harshly.
Do that, everyone, if you want to move city.
I think the way I would actually approach it is be like, I have this job offer and I really want to do it. You can't tell me to not go. Like, I'm not going to cancel it. I want to go. This is an opportunity. But like, what is next for us? Do you feel like you can be a part of that? Because it isn't just from me. It's whether you want to deal with your partner moving away and stuff like that. Like,
and
it does have
you
to be
okay with, even if you want it to carry on, you have to be okay with it ending because you're moving away. Because you're going to do it no matter what, you also have to be like okay with whatever that means for your relationship.
Yeah, I think that's why you need to consider their thoughts option on the park.
You're a team.
Important.
Everything you do should be.
And if you can't have that conversation, then that's when the out the door one comes in. Because it's like, if you can't communicate and you can't find a middle ground and you're not willing to give it a go, then what is there to fight for if you're not gonna?
And how important is that career that you're going for? Like, how
it's your dream job, and they're like, "Don't go." Like, babe, I don't think we can survive this.
Even if it's not your dream job, and it's just because it's gonna make you a bigger person, it's gonna
life experiences.
Or it's something on your bucket list. Like, I just wanted to live in London for 6 months, a year. So can we get through that?
If they're like, I don't know, I think you should just stay and ride it out here, I'd be like, pack up. Go. Like, no, I'm going to make this decision for myself and go. And if you're saying don't, then you're
not even hearing my thoughts out.
Yeah, you're denying me that opportunity to grow as a person, because it could be the best thing that ever happened to me, or I could come home after. Like, the job might end, I might come back and then we can still be together. But if you're saying don't go, then I don't want to be with you.
But
Yeah.
also, you might change while you're there and grow out of that person. They might be scared of that. Like, you're going to
Moving
move
on.
though, and you're going to find somebody else that's better than me. And
I think that's such a common thought.
yeah, like you're gonna move and grow and like leave
I'm
me
still going to be
behind.
here, because then
Yeah.
if you're thinking back to what we were saying earlier about I'm moving place because I want to move place and I don't want everyone from home there.
Yeah.
They've halved that.
Yeah. What a heavy bit to like end on.
Yeah.
But should we do main pointers and tips of what we have?
Moving.
Yeah, of what we have discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are our overthoughts
What
and
a partner thing, or just everything
in general?
I think you just have to do it. And
Yeah.
that actually is one of my main bits of advice. And we have advice from you guys as well. But you just have to do it, because if you're questioning whether to do it and you want to do it, like, you obviously have the drive within you that that's something that you really like have to do.
Yeah.
Like, I know that sounds dumb.
And for me, like, the job was there and I had no choice. So it was just,
Yeah.
you've got to do it now. Like, you've got to find the flat, you've got to move.
Because
have to get on with
there
it
will always be
because-
scary things in life.
I've signed a contract, that's it.
And not to get Kylie Jenner on it. You know that really weird quote where it's like, if you really wanted to experience things, and you would experience things. But I don't think you want it yet. But I think she made some points in that.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way, she was just trying to say, like, just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think if there's part of you that wants to do it, just do it.
And even if it does turn out to be like a really bad experience, then you probably can leave at some point. It might not be immediate, but at some point you can apply for a new job if that job's not working out. Like, there will be a way out of it. And if you have like either support system back home, or like people were saying earlier, like the people that you trust and can rely on here, then it's always going to make it smoother whichever way you decide.
Everything's temporary, because then there's no pressure that you're going to be stuck in this forever. But also, if you're really messy and when you move everything goes a bit wrong, that's already temporary.
There's also like the heaviness of like you move and like that first flat you're in isn't everything you dreamed it would be, or that first job that you're in isn't everything you dreamed it. Like, it doesn't all have to be perfect at once.
Yeah, like, we
You
are so
can
settled,
move, yeah.
but
You
we
found
still
it,
have,
but you had years of like,
and we
not.
still have things that we want to change. Like, we love where we are now, but we know where we would rather be. And
Which,
I've
if
had
you
this-
don't have those goals to work towards, then
and it's not that we are unhappy. It's just that there's always things to move on, and I think you can find comfort in that when you are in scenarios that you're unhappy with. Is that, yeah, you want things to be different, but you will always want things to be different, because when I was 19 I would have loved to be in this house, but now I'm like, I would love to be in something else.
Grinder
there's
mindset.
always
Yeah,
something,
exactly.
I think I have another piece of advice, and I think it would be to not judge your entire experience going forward based on the first week or month, or maybe even 6 months. If you if you take the time to simmer, like we were saying earlier, like that might not be representative of how it's always going to be. You might move. This is such a weird thing, like, you might move in like a recession, cost of living crisis. Things are going to be awful, but if you moved at a different point, it'd be completely different. Or if you move in the winter and it's dark at 4 p.m. and you just can't see when it's going to get better, but you've moved in the summer, and you were saying that there's such long
feel like
days,
there's
so much to do.
Yeah, like, it doesn't end when I get back from work, which was always my thing at home. I've also had like my parents, like, everyone keeps calling me this week asking me how it is and like, how was work today, and I don't want to answer them because I don't want to sum it up yet. I just want to keep like going and keep getting to know people. I don't want to like sum up everything that's happened so far, because if it isn't the most positive experience, then I feel like that's what I'm giving them, and then they're like, oh, like, it'll get better. Like, I know it'll keep going. I just don't want to give you the only information I have so far. I think that's something, like, don't sum it up all in the first
I think, I don't know why I just put in like little like catchphrases that I've been like generated.
That's gonna stick.
Let the seasons change on the matter, because you know what we were just saying about like moving the summer, the winter, whatever. So from my experience, whirlwind year, in the winter everything is worse, matter of fact. In the summer the same problems are still there, but it's bright out. Not today because it's literally been chucking it down all day, but things just are different. There's a new perspective because you've had these months of experience now that you can deal with things a bit better. And it's not just a case of like whether the sun sets at 4 p.m. or 9 p.m, but if you've given the chance from autumn to spring, you'll have learnt so much and dealt with so much, and the time will go so quickly as well that you'll be like, God, I've been here for this amount of months and I'm doing it and I'm surviving.
And Christmas the time that you go home. So like you want to move in the summer and then it come back to winter, and like that's the time when you go home and you see your family and you be cozy and you have like that familiarity. I'm so happy with like the time that I was able
if you're
to
thinking
move.
about moving right now listening to this, maybe start putting it in motion.
It feels like not romanticizing it, but kind of like weighing up the good and the bad and still seeing it as a good thing is a really nice way to like view it.
Yeah, I think my big thing is that, and just taking your time and not being too harsh, because I think I don't think I majorly counted like my London living until probably like my 3rd year here. Like even on like social media, I didn't start properly like documenting things until like my 3rd year, because that's when I started feeling comfortable. And I think that feels really long, but actually I look back now and I can't really remember the first couple of years, and there are good and there are bad bits, but realistically you're not going to remember the bad bits, and if you are, it'll be in a like, these are the things I've learned from it. And even like a laughing thing, like a lot of like bad things that happen to us we laugh about now.
Well, it's like the way I would see it as well. So I spoke to my dad recently and I was like, oh, XYZ things are going wrong or whatever, and he was like, well, why would you not just move home then? Like that it sounds as if you want to move home. And I was like, whoa, like no, I love London regardless of all the things that happen.
It's
like,
not going to fix everything. Like,
moving home.
Things I need to do.
Yeah, like it's like what you were saying. Like it's not the house; it's the other things. It's like if I just leave now, no, it's not because I've moved city. If anything, this little sphere that we've created, you know, the old and the new merging, and like our little slice of London that we've like made our own here in East, it makes it all worth it. Like I would rather struggle here than live a slightly better day-to-day lifestyle at home, I think, because I enjoy that this is what I've made it.
Absolutely. I think that's the nice idea to close on from our thoughts, is that it's like what you make it. I think you can sit there and you can mope if it's not going the way you want, but I think if you do look at the smaller, happier things, then even if you're unhappy in your house or your job, then you can find things you like, and that's what makes it bearable.
And you can never stop improving it. Like just because you've moved and it's going a certain direction doesn't mean you can't continue to make things better after you're here and after you get more comfortable.
Just take it one day at a time. That's our life motto all the time.
Take it one day at a time.
Thanks, Cassie. We actually have some quick ones from you guys as well. One says make friends as soon as possible within your realms and what you can do. Have besties to show you around. It's another similar thing.
Yeah.
If you're keeping social, that's like the bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely. Because otherwise you can't get in a rut of not socialising.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like having with COVID. Like I got so used to not seeing people all the time that now like I get overwhelmed if I do too much in a row.
Someone else said be confident in yourself and try not to be shy when meeting new people. I think even if it's not like to meet new people, but having your like back yourself energy of like if you're going into this new place, you have to be like strong and
fake it till you make it again.
Even just walking down the street like acting like you belong there,
because then you will feel like you belong there.
Someone else said pack light, you'll be surprised how much stuff you own. Facts. I barely took any clothes to uni.
I remember.
Yeah, and I literally took like 6 things, and I was like, I just went through that in 6 days, whatever. So I had to like, the first time I went home, I had to bring a whole new suitcase of stuff, and then suddenly I was like, oh no, I've done too much.
And it's nice to build up things while you're here. Like I didn't really bring any books, and then over my time here I've bought books, and I have brought the odd thing here from home, but I like the idea that like my bookcase is full of things that I have, and yeah, it meant that in my first year I just had like textbooks and academic books, but now I can look at it and I've never had to take anything back that I'm like,
I also like
use.
going home and your room at home not being completely empty.
Yeah.
Like you can still live there and have everything you kind of need there as well as here, as much as like if your parents let you do that. But I like being able to go home and being able to live and not have to bring everything with me again every
and you
time
have
I
a
visit.
separate space. You've not just replicated home here, which kind of what you're saying. You can't just and drop it in a new city. That's so weird, people not watching. Yeah, I think see it as a new start and take things with you, but don't replicate.
I think I could do that really easily because mine wasn't a childhood bedroom that I left.
Yeah,
I'd only been living in there for a few months.
I redecorated mine the year I moved out.
Yeah, like, I really didn't feel the need, like, sentimental value of, like, I want to bring everying. So I was like, I don't know you, bedroom, so I can just leave you. And when I go home now, I still don't really know. I don't know her like that.
We're staying in a room that, like, you've never lived in.
Yeah, because, like, I stayed there for a bit every night, but, like, not really.
Yeah.
I also do like, though, that you get to uni, you have to repurchase everything again. Like, it is so much money when you get there to have to, like, rebuy everything. I always said that my, not that this is sad, but like I lost my grandparent just before I moved, and it meant that I got all of her kitchen supplies and all of like just all this stuff that I needed, so that when I moved I didn't have to go and do that IKEA shop that everyone does and buy all this stuff and spend all this money. Like I already had it all. So that's really good. Like, or if your sister goes to uni before you get to like use that stuff, because you lose it all and you like break it.
I think, well, first of all, I have two things to say. One, I don't own a chopping board, and number two,
you still not, you just use mine.
Yeah, or I don't chop.
Yeah, I don't see you chop anymore.
I buy pre-chopped. And number two is I think my what's it called? The clothing drying rack.
Clothes horse. I call it a clothes horse, but it's also like an air dryer.
Yeah. My one of them is actually my brother's friend's, which I think might be your sister's friend. And it's in our house right now with you. I think that's really strange.
I didn't know that.
You just get things like passed down.
Yeah. But it's like 3 generations of like that.
Wow.
I'd be amazed at like how much you can find when you move.
And how much you didn't need from your home that you thought you needed.
When I go to my wardrobe now and I'm like, there's a couple of things that I've missed. But a lot of things I'm like, I could just go my whole life never moving back and I won't ever think to wear you again. It should just go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Someone else said, take your most, which I didn't understand this the first time I read it, and now I do, is take your most valuable possessions, even if it looks like junk to other people. And I think
that's
it's
like the other side of the packing line.
Yeah, like the sentimental things that you're gonna look and think like, God, I really like, I'm so glad I have that with me. It's like, when I don't sleep with my Toy Story alien now, I get so upset. Like, I don't have like as good of a night's sleep. So if I could take that with me to a new city.
You know what I'm missing? The like pillows on my bed. So obviously I've got my 4 pillows, so I've got a double bed, but like all the cushions that you have on your bed, I didn't bring any of that because I wasn't sure if I was going to be moving, kind of like having to pack up my stuff and move home for the weekend and then come back, or what was going to happen. Like I wanted to keep things really light just for any situation, but like I really miss that it just makes things a little bit more cozy and looks really homely and stuff, and I miss that, which is so particular.
My version is we've all got such different ones. Mine's like a little shrine to my dogs. Is that I have felt versions of my dogs. Yeah, so when I first moved, it was only like a few months after one of my dogs had passed away, so then I had that with me, and then I have like ones to my current dog and things like that, and that's something that you can't replicate here as pets and things like that. But I just think even if it's just on a shelf, that is something that you wouldn't need to bring. It's a felt figurine of a dog. It's not a necessity, but it's little things like that that will make you feel more comfortable. Like my dog watches over me, like she's just up there.
Hi. Well, the thing is, my Toy Story alien only got last year, so I don't think I just grew very sentimentally attached to the eyeball that I can put on my eyeball when I go to sleep. Maybe my like, it kind of looks like wolf blanket. I get really, if I can't sleep with that because I don't sleep with a quilt, I sleep with the blanket. If I move to a different city, like sometimes I'm gonna stay in a hotel and I'm like, it's a quilt, like it's a duvet, like what the heck.
I guess because it's so heavy, it's completely different.
Yeah, but that one, the feel of it, it's not like any other blanket. Like to me, you can't replicate it. The hole in the corner that sometimes you accidentally slip into, you can't replicate it.
That's what I've got with Ducky though as well.
In the favourites, you said that. That we both
I said what I said.
Yeah.
And then you have your toy as well.
Yeah.
Say less, say less.
That's all.
And then finally, we have touched on this already. Find cafes, places to go on TikTok or Instagram, so you know where's good.
Yeah.
I think staying connected with the outside world and like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Because
stay
it's loud
connected
on
to
my
the outside
street,
world.
But sometimes I'm like, I can hear everyone talking, which makes it more daunting going out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just...
Liz knows if I have like a few days at home, I start feeling like I'm not a real person, and I do a lot of like independent study and things like that, and I have to force myself to go out and do things sometimes because I don't feel like a real person. I'll go into work after like 2 days and I'm like, oh my god, like I just needed to like feel human again. So I think seeing what other people are doing and going to new places, and I found in the past couple of years, and I found it because Liz was that kind of person, is that I value experiences and going to new places. I used to not do it because I didn't want to spend money, but it's like actually it's the going for meals and it's the going for coffees that makes it feel like you are actually living in the city. And it was something that I never really did before. Well, I guess before I met you, I didn't want to spend the money on doing things like that, but otherwise I would just be sat at home not doing anything. And you need to accept that you are going to spend money and you are going to do things.
It can still be a cheap day out.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like window shopping.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got to go and
Do things.
Yeah, because
it's the experiences that you remember.
I always say I'd rather be broke, but
having fun,
rich in experience.
Yeah, which is what we are currently like.
And also on a practical note, staying fed, like,
yeah,
because I remember when I first moved into uni and I had nothing in my fridge but the Starbucks I brought on campus and half of a baguette from the shop, and I was like, that's me good for the week, and it's not, especially if you are doing all of your going out and stuff.
Yeah,
because like, okay, this is like not to do with moving city, but I said to someone at work today, because I got really hungry and it means I feel very anemic all of a sudden, that I said that it starts to make me feel like an NPC because I stop living life to enjoy, but I just do things to complete the tasks and stuff, because suddenly I wasn't speaking to anyone. All I was doing was putting things back on hangers and walking around trying not to bump into people. Like I literally felt like a GTA character or something. So stay fed and then you won't be an NPC.
Yeah, I think
look after yourself. It's you come first.
Yeah, and if that's in the form of buying yourself a nice, like having a nice meal and eating out is something that you actually, when you first move to a city or you first go to uni, you don't realise how much it actually makes a difference. And now we're at the point where, and it might be an expensive habit, but we try and kind of go for a meal or treat ourselves to something like edible or like drinkable once a week minimum, because it is like that's what makes you feel fulfilled.
Yeah,
it's a
mine's even like definitely the food, but it's even just like a new top or something, because then I want to wear it and then I want to go out somewhere where
anything
I want to wear it
that can just make you feel a bit more uplifted if things aren't really
give
going
you
your
a
way.
little thing
Boost,
like and a reason to go out. And
even if it's doing your makeup for a walk, like during lockdown, that was a big thing, is that you wouldn't do anything. So I find that sometimes if I'm just studying at home, some days I don't, because like you need to have rest days, but other days I'd be like, no, I need to feel like normal and normal. And so I would get ready even if I'm just sat at home. If you're starting studying, and or if you don't know anyone, sometimes just little things like that.
Yeah, because even if I'm like, if I've not got any plans that day, like today earlier on I didn't really have any plans, but I was like, right, I kind of need to do a food shop, so I'm just going to get dressed, put a little bit of makeup on so that I feel a bit human, and just go, even though I could get away with not going because I've got meals for maybe 2 more days in my fridge, but I'm just gonna make it I'm gonna take myself on a shopping date just to get out of the house.
It's made me want to move city, and like,
unfortunately, because we like our city very well.
yeah,
But
I
you
love
could just
London.
move to another
I've got
bit.
4 years
Even
here.
like
London, part of
I'm
London.
one tube stop
Yeah.
away from them, so but even that's like a whole different place.
Yeah.
The vibes of our two places are quite different,
Yeah.
even though they're like sisters.
Yeah.
I don't know. But thank you very much to Caitlin.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being our first ever guest on Champagne Whispers.
I hope
Feels
it
very
went well.
special.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that this is probably a two-parter because all three of
There's
us
a
can talk for England.
Yeah.
So putting us all together in this one screen, like, you should have known, really.
Yeah, I didn't know why we
Yeah.
didn't plan for this, but I'm excited to see what you get up to in London.
Yeah. I can maybe come
Invite yourself back.
She literally
back
said.
and see how I get on.
Yeah, before we even recorded this, she was like, well, we'll have to do the checkup. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you might
I was
hate
like,
this experience, actually.
I was like, I've not done anything yet. Like, yeah, I've had my first week, so I can tell you how that went. But like, I've still got so much I want to do, and I've still got to move into like my more permanent place and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be nice to do a check-in.
Maybe we'll
and see how I
record
feel
that.
then.
Yeah.
On location at your new flat.
Oh yeah, that would be great actually.
Well, we'll see that.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see you in a few months.
If you want to, keep in touch, stay connected to the outside world, I think we're pretty good beacons of what's going on and
Yeah.
what's good at the minute. So, blonde_vibrations on Instagram. And there is the link tree, which has everything else. But wherever you're listening or watching, if you could follow or subscribe, whichever one is available
Give us
to
a nice
you.
rating, whether that's a thumbs up or a 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's thumbsing us down on YouTube, you're a
Stop,
hater.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, I'll tell you about it in a little bit.
Okay.
It's so funny.
Thumbs
Wow, I
downing
didn't think
us.
that was really a thing.
Yeah, no, I
Our
did.
first hater, love ya.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think about moving. If like this has stemmed any thoughts, give us like a DM.
Or if you have
Let's,
any
like, keep this
experiences that
going.
you've had recently.
Yeah, or if you're like a pal and you're thinking, I could sit in Caitlin's spot.
I also
I've got
want to
something
hear
to
about people
say.
moving to other countries because
Yeah.
the language thing, like we've not had to deal with a language barrier whatsoever.
I know
I
some
think
people in
it's-
East London speak really like. I had to get used to it, Liz.
Or Yaham.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to come on the Champagne Whispers, if you have a topic that you feel very,
Maybe
very...
a pattern and mixtape for
Yeah.
our Spotify girlies.
If there's something you just feel very passionate about and think, you know what, I could ramble and answer things about for like 40 minutes, feel free to reach out, even if
Would
it's
you
somewhat
recommend
similar.
the experience.
Absolutely. I feel enlightened, honestly, after all of that.
It really is just like big sister chats. Like, I feel very like
Mm-hmm.
fulfilled after.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you very much.
We're gonna leave you now.
Bye.